Okay, fam, let's talk about Synchronic. Synchronic is a comic book that I read over the week. It's published by Europe Comics and it is written by Vincent Delmas and the art is by Ricardo Crosa. Um, I picked this up purely judging a book by its cover. I thought the cover was really interesting. I liked the mystery of like, there's this like detective looking guy and there's a body in a trunk, and the art looked decent. I didn't know anything about it, and I said, you know what? Let's find out. Let's just find out. So I picked it up. I gave it a read. You can read this thing in a single sitting if you want. It's three issues. Each issue is about 50, 60 pages long, so they're not short by any means. There's a bit to go with here. Yeah, I was pleasantly surprised. First off, the art is fantastic. I didn't have any issues with the lettering for the most part. There is a segment in the third graphic novel that is a little messy on the eyes and is a bit hard to follow, but everything else is great. In terms of story, this follows Ian Mallory. Now, Ian Mallory is American expatriated in France, where he is working for the American government to teach the French government about how to prevent cyber attacks and hacking and cyber terrorism and stuff like that. And one day, unfortunately, Ian's wife and Ian are in a tragic accident. Well, not accident. Well, maybe. Are in this tragic event where his wife is murdered, gunned down in her car. That happens in the first like 2 pages, so no spoils here. And Ian wakes up 3 years later with the bullet from that murder still lodged in his skull. And because of this, he has some mental issues. He has a delayed emotional response, is how I'll word it. So he can get through a lot of things very passively. And then they sort of all ramp up and hit him all at once later on. So Ian's moved on. It's 5 years later. Everything's sort of going smooth. He's remarried to a lawyer, and she has her own child. And some drama happens, which the NSA use that drama to sort of rope Ian back into working for them. And it's a very cat and mouse for a bit. Like Ian obviously doesn't trust the NSA. It's a typical, how to explain it? It's a typical like three-letter agency. No one trusts each other. How does the main character get out of this alive sort of deal there? And to be honest with you, everything in this book is great. I don't have any complaints about it for the most part. I do have one complaint though. Um, like a lot of Europe comics, like a lot of Europe comics, it doesn't end. It has 3 issues. They're very long. This is from back in February 2019, and Europe cancelled it early. So we get 3 very good issues, and we don't really get a resolution. We get some resolution, but the ending leaves or opens more doors than it closes, is how I'll say it. And because of that, maybe I just shouldn't read Europe comic stuff anymore because it's quality, but they do this all the freaking time.